Rogue, Marvel Rivals' newest Vanguard, is finally here. She has to be one of the more advanced and complex characters that this game has yet to see. And today, I'm going over everything you need to know to get a head start against the competition. And without further ado, I hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, as this is a guide video, like always, we need to talk about her abilities. So let's quickly talk about her primary attack, Power Surge Punch. You punch forward with both fists. So 1, 2, and then 3 is the third one that does a little bit more damage. Now the default melee, which is B on mouse and keyboard, is the same exact thing as using your primary attack, so there is no really canceling of the autos. So, because it's all together as the same thing. Now let's talk about her secondary attack, right mouse button, whatever you want to call it. It's defensive stance. You absorb nearby projectiles and reduce incoming damage. Absorbed damage powers up your next Southern Brawl. Duck, what is Southern Brawl? Well, when you have your shield charged up, you can do the dash. So let's talk about the Southern Brawl. So while in defensive stance, you can dash forward and slam enemies in front, dealing AoE damage, which is pretty nice. So you're in stance, you dash, and you can see the damage. It's a pretty significant amount of damage in my opinion. It's on a 6-second cooldown, you absorb the damage, and then a pretty big hit comboed with your primary attack can do quite a devastating blow. I didn't want to talk about our shift or our movement ability. This is called Fatal Attraction. You dash forward and you press it again to unleash a burst of chronovium power from her ring, dealing. Then I want to talk about her movement ability, which is Fatal Attraction. You dash forward and you can press the same button again to unleash a burst of power from a railing, dealing continuous damage to nearby foes. After a delay, the energy retracts, pulling all enemies towards Rogue, which is a pretty cool initiation type of ability. For example, you shift in, and then you can pull in, and you can see I'm pulling people together. You can see the AoE that's happening. A pretty cool ability, honestly. So again, you dash in, you can do it again to pull enemies in while doing damage. So she seems like a very useful engage Vanguard, very useful engage sort of tank. Now, she's not going to be your main tank. If you think she's going to be a main tank, you're wrong. She is a off tank, probably on par of engage tanks like Emma Frost, Thing, Hulk. These characters are sort of diving / engage tanks. So you can sort of see the same realm, probably more on par with Emma than some of the other tanks in the game. So again, shift, knock away, and then you can pull it again. It's on a 15-second cooldown, so that is something also to keep in mind. Now I just want to see how long you actually have to choose to activate it. So you can see there's a bar at the bottom where my shift button is. So again, I do shift, and you can see there's a little timer ticking down of when to do it, so you could probably have a really long time before you actually activate it to try to psych enemies out of when you're actually going to pull them in. So pretty useful if you want to know that. Then let's talk about one of her abilities, which is the Chrono Kick combo. You dash forward and launch the enemy. Then let's move on to one of her first abilities, and that is the Chrono Kick combo. You dash forward and launch the enemy, entering flight, and you activate again to knock down the nearby enemies. Your next two Power Surge Punch attacks become ranged, piercing enemies and granting bonus health. As you can see, I have a total of 675 HP. When I use this kick ability, you see I'm in the air, and I drive her down, and then 1, 2, and you see I have 775 HP. This is basically feeling like I'm playing a fighting game with all of these combos. But again, it's honestly on a rather quick cooldown as well. So you can do 1, 2, 3, put E, 1, then knock back down, but then you have the 2 other combos. It's on a 10-second cooldown, which honestly, for a pretty damaging and just extremely useful ability, is a pretty quick cooldown, as you may know. So again, you could probably do 1, 2, 3, E up, 1, 2, knock down, and just maintain that, or you could pull the person in after. I feel like one of the combos, before we dive into the combo section to get a little bit sidetracked, we shift in, we can do the pull, and we can knock up, and then pull them in, and then knock them down like that, if you wanted to. Now we come to one of the abilities that you've probably been waiting for, and that is the ability Absorption. You dash forward to knock down your target and absorb their energy. After absorbing, you replace that ability, which is on the F slot, with one of their abilities or refresh Fatal Attraction. You also absorb health and stats based on their role, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. I love saying my opinion, you might be new here. But again, so you knock them up, you suck up their power, and then it refreshes their abilities, which is a pretty insane ability. So for example, if I shift, I pull in, then if I go in and I try to steal the power, oh, wrong buttons. So I can shift in, pull in, do the pull, then I can E, F, suck, shift. This character has a lot to offer. Basically, what I'm trying to show you is when you shift in, and then you pull, you see it goes on a 15-second timer, but if I absorb, it's immediately recharged, so you have another escape, or you have another engage, essentially. Which basically, this character is just a bully. That's all this character does. You're here to bully the enemy. It's another Emma Frost, and it's probably a lot, I mean, I wouldn't say a lot tankier version of Emma Frost, because she has Diamond Form with the damage reduction, but I think the 775 HP is a big deal when it comes to this character. So I'm very curious to see how she will do in, pro play, ranked play, all the other types of play. You get the idea. Now let's talk about her ultimate ability, Heartbreaker. Now this ability is absolutely insane. You constantly absorb the ultimate ability energy from nearby enemies and steal stats based on their role. If you don't get what I'm saying, when I ult, you can see their ultimate bar getting drained. It seems like it has a max cap of 80, so you can only drain about 20%, but you gain their stats while in that form, while in your ultimate form, which is pretty cool in my opinion, because this can sort of throw off enemy teams' engages. For instance, if a Psylocke or any other character is going for some sort of big team play, big team fight, and you pop this ultimate, well, then their fight plan kind of goes to crumbles because you absorbed all of their power. So I think it's a very useful and situational ability if you understand what the timers of their ultimates are at. Let's go ahead and talk about the team up with both Gambit and Magneto as Rogue. So the team up is called Hearts as One, and of course you have the team up with, of course, Gambit. Makes sense. Basically, you get the kinetic energy from Gambit, and this is kind of what it looks like. So it's AoE, so you start hitting, you see all the AoE and extra damage. So it's kind of crazy just how much this character has to offer. All the mobility, all the movement. I think you're going to see this character a lot in play. I feel like, for the most part, your main tank, Doctor Strange, Magneto, and I think having this character, honestly, you could run Emma Rogue, and I think it would be perfect fine. Imagine you go in to grab somebody and just like insect them, and then the Emma Frost grabs after. There's a lot of combos and ideas you could easily come up with mainly Bucky, Winter Soldier, Emma Frost, Rogue, any character that has some sort of pull just to really throw off the enemy. I think this character is going to be one of those characters that is going to be extremely annoying to deal with. I think you just have to. If you made it this far into the video, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe, as I try to make content every other day, so definitely come check it out. Now we come to our combo development section. So these are kind of the combos I'm kind of running through my head. So for the most part, you have your primary attacks, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You get the idea. But this is where things get a little bit interesting, because we have the Chrono Kick combo, then we have the Fatal Attraction. What I'm thinking is you dash in, right? You will pull enemies in after, and then you would go for the knockup, and then you would go for the E after. It's the whole idea of trying to get as many enemies as you can inside of the knockup range to really just throw them around. Because if I try to grab multiple enemies, you can see I grab them all in and I knock them all up. So if I can maintain that thought in my mind, I can really min-max how many characters I'm picking up. I bet there's no limit to the amount of enemies you can pick up with the ultimate ability, not the ultimate ability, the shift ability. So the combo as followed is probably 1, 2, 3. You can shift and start fighting in your shift, pull them in, knock up, 3 hits, 1, 2, 3, and then go for a absorption, and then just reset the combo if they're a higher HP character. At least from my findings. So again, you would initiate with your shift ability, shift in, you can add some 3 punches, shift to pull them in. Sorry, one more time. So basically to do the combo that I'm thinking of is you initiate with your shift, go for the pull, so you do the AoE, you do the knockup or the absorption, whatever you want to, and you could reset the combo to pull again, like so. So you could shift, F, shift again, depending on if you, whatever character you absorb the powers from, or you can shift, pull, start attacking. Once they're pulled in, go for the E, 1, 2, knock down, 3, and then do the absorb, and then you can follow up by another pull. So it really depends on how you want to set up the combo, what type of characters you're playing against. But I think that's probably the most basic combo, is this a refresh of the abilities, and it's probably one of the best combos that's going to keep you alive the longest, because you're really operating around the shift. Go to the knockup, 1, 2, 3, knockdown, and you get that bonus HP in the air, which is a very nice touch, instead of having them get knocked to the ground and then going for that extra HP. So that you're in your most vulnerable state when you're up in the air kind of floating like this. So if you can get that extra HP while you're in the air, that's probably going to be the best case scenario. Then, like I said, you can follow up with the absorption. If you miss the absorption, it's on a 25-second cooldown, so that is something big to keep in mind. But that is mainly Rogue. Now with some gameplay in the background, I do want to talk about her playstyle. Rogue is, well, a very versatile Vanguard capable of adapting to different situations with ease. However, her primary role is in fact an off-tank, which means playing Rogue does not require frontlining or constantly protecting teammates. So you really want to focus and hone in on finding the right moments to strike and or defend. Now, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes, but one of the biggest things about this character is you don't want to blindly dive in and attempt a, 1v6 or a 1v5, whatever it may be. The character, despite having a ton of movement, if caught off guard, can get easily shredded down and taken care of. One of the biggest things with this character is her ultimate. Now, when you have your ultimate, you want to use it in the beginning when you're contesting an objective, so that you can scatter the enemies or delay their counter ultimates. Now remember, this character is a 5-star difficulty character and can take quite a while getting used to. There is a lot of tech with her, a lot of combos, a lot of just everything in general. So those are things you have to be working for. But to sum it up, in terms of proper playstyle, your whole goal, your whole objective is to be the most annoying person in the world. Poke at the enemies, go all in when need be, of course when the timing is right, and just be an absolute menace, stealing abilities, surviving in the backline, whatever it may be. Now, let's talk about counters. For the most part, when I was looking for counters, the best ones were characters that shut down movement. Those characters being, well, Winter Soldier, no more, any character that has some sort of hard crowd control effects. A lot of her abilities can be interrupted and stopped, so you're going to be wanting characters that have CC forms, whether it's Luna Stone with her freeze, Mantis with her sleep, again, no more with the squids for tracking, Winter Soldier with all of his other abilities. You can throw Scarlet Witch into the mix with her E ability or whatever. Really, hard CC, anything that will stop some sort of diving character, that is the character you're looking for. That is who you want on your team to be able to stop a character like Rogue. But anyways, that about wraps up today's video. I hope you enjoyed whatever this was, a masterclass, a guide, a quick start guide, whatever it may be for the new hero Marvel Rivals Rogue. And if you want to see any more of this content, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe, and comment down below who you're excited for in Season 5.5 of Marvel Rivals. And if you want to check out any of my other videos, make sure to check out the channel, check out the playlist, and of course, I hope you have a great and safe day.